Hello YouTube, it's Line here with Hobbies of Man, and today we're going to be doing another comic book review. Today we're going to be looking at Batman White Knight, written by Sean Murphy, written and drawn by Sean Murphy with coloring by Matt Hollingworth. This is published by DC under the black label, as you guys can see right there. The demographic is adult because of that black label. And the genres here are superhero and I guess psychological thriller to an extent. I think that makes sense. It does not currently have an adaptation, although a movie about it would be cool or a TV show would be interesting. And the premise is basically that the Joker somehow ends up being a sane person again. He stops being insane and decides that he wants to be Gotham's White Knight to oppose Gotham's Dark Knight, aka Batman. And so he uses politics and money to try to take over Gotham, to try to heal it, fix it, instead of using the fear and laughter that he uses usually, right? So it's pretty interesting. I thought the premise was really cool, and overall the plotline is good too. However, it does kind of take a while to get good, if that makes sense. So the initial fight is pretty interesting. The inciting incident is Joker is letting Batman through something, and he's doing this like skit about how they're basically lovers, that Batman and Joker are two sides of the same coin, that they exist for the same reason, but they take vastly different ways to go about it. And Batman doesn't like this because he doesn't want to be a criminal, and so he fights him. And actually, Batman is having problems, emotional problems outside of being Batman, and so that's affecting him. And what happens is that he forces the Joker to drink these pills. And it turns out that these pills are basically able to heal the Joker, to make him a sane person once again. And so we get to see the rebirth of Jack Napier. And so he goes back to being sane. Skip ahead a year, where Jack Napier is apparently a politician now. And then we go visit Batman in Arkham. And then we get a flashback to all of the stuff that happens up to that point, which is we see Jack Napier's back on the straight and narrow, and then using politics, and then actually using Clayface to create political situations he can take advantage of to remove Batman. Then they eventually lock him up after he does something pretty bad. And then we get to see the Gotham Terror Organization established, or Terror Office. I can't remember what it's called, but the GTO, which is basically a government-sponsored vigilante program. So you get to see 5 different people. Gordon's old partner, I think his name was Bullock, Montoya, Barbara Gordon, what's her name, Batgirl, and Nightwing team up and have their own versions of Batmobiles and stuff like that, and they fight crime like that while Batman is in prison. Eventually they decide that Batman is necessary because this person called Neo Joker, who actually happened to be the second Harley in Joker's life, goes really hard and does something really horrifying. And so they have to bring back Batman. They join forces with the GTO. Jack Napier also signs up to be part of the GTO because Neo Joker is basically having a lover's quarrel with the Joker, and she wants to get his attention, and so he has to go with them. And then we have a big battle, which is really fun and really interesting. Even Mr. Freeze ends up being part of it. And we get this identity reveal at the end, because apparently all of these non-continuity stories about Batman end up with him revealing to Gordon that he's Bruce Wayne. So it is what it is. I think it's fun. It was really well done. There was a kind of lull in the story between issues 2 to 4. I think there's 7 issues total. So that little middle portion of the story was a little bit boring. There was a lot of setup, but it does pay off at the end. And this also spawned a larger universe, so it's pretty interesting how that happened. In terms of characters, we have Batman, the Joker, Harleen, and Marianne. So Harleen is, of course, the original Harley Quinn. And then Marianne is the second Harley Quinn, who happens to exist because Harleen left the Joker at one point. And in one of his really crazy episodes, he attacked a bank, and he took Marianne with him. And so she decided to become Harley for that. So interesting, really weird. It just happens to be that Joker attracts weird people. So it is what it is. Nightwing, Batgirl, Gordon, Duke, and Montoya are all the characters that are part of the police force for the vast majority of the time. And of course, Batman is there as well. Pretty good stuff. I liked all the characters. I didn't know too many of them. I don't know if Montoya is a character that shows up in other things. Duke, I don't know either. He's like this black guy from Blackport, some part of Gotham, that is severely underrepresented, and he is a relevant, person that is trying to talk to people about it. So yeah, then in terms of world building, of course, Gotham sucks. Gotham always sucks, and Gotham will continue to suck. It's just part of the very minimal world building that they make for Batman. And then there's this connection between Dr. Freeze and the Waynes, because apparently their families were interconnected in some way. And Mr. Freeze, or sorry, not Dr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze ends up being a bit of a more sympathetic character, so I thought that was interesting. In terms of the artwork, it's rough and it's sketchy, and I really like this style. I think it's really good. There's a lot of grit to the story, and the colors are really good. They're very desaturated. They're all pretty dark, and I quite like that. I think it's really well done. I liked it a lot. The art style was awesome. In terms of a rating, it's a 4 out of 5. It's pretty good. Definitely read it again. And I want to keep up with the other parts of the universe, so I'm probably going to collect a lot more of these White Knight kind of things. I think the next one is Curse of the White Knight, and then Harley Quinn, and then something else, and then Red Hood, I think is what's next. So hopefully I'll pick those up, and if I don't, it's fine. But I definitely want to try to get them, because it's a pretty interesting take on Batman. And you don't really need to know too much about Batman beforehand. I mean, I don't know too much about Batman beforehand myself, and I didn't find any of this to be difficult to understand. As long as you know that the Joker and Batman are two sides of the same coin, and they love to hate each other, you're all good. That's all you really need to know to get into the story. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Batman White Knight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.